Hey, I'm Jess.
And I'm Austin. I find you appealing.
Find you appealing.
Well, let's make a podcast about it.
Alright. Is that how you do it?
Okay. Well, we're going. We're doing this. We're officially
10 months later.
Yeah.
Finally doing the podcast.
We talked about doing a podcast. Probably because we're like super self-absorbed. Just kidding.
Probably.
But we thought that we were really interesting from the jump. And I mean, I'm talking, this is the first time that I spent the night at Jess's house. I brought this equipment over to show you. I just gotten it for Christmas. And I don't know, I just think that she's such an awesome personality.
Aww.
To go and do a podcast.
Thanks, B.
You're cool.
You're pretty neat.
And yeah, we kept saying like, we're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. I don't know, probably 100 times.
Or more.
And now we're doing it. And today is 6 months of holy matrimony.
Gang gang.
Here's to another 6,000 months, which, by the way, is like 500 something years from now, according to Google.
It is a lot. That's a lot of years.
But we're going for more than that.
More, and because I'm gonna be loving you in spirit.
The spirit realm. Holy matrimony, because even when we're holy heavenly beings, or we could go to hell, I don't know.
Probably.
We're probably going.
Or we're gonna get stuck in some strange purgatory, and Denny's purgatory.
Purgatory and Denny's.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We should actually get to that in a sec.
Right now.
But we should probably talk about who we are.
Oh.
First.
I'm Jess.
I'm Austin. We're the Lewises.
The Louie.
The Lou Crew.
Lou Crew.
Gang gang. And this is our podcast. The official title is I Find You Appealing podcast. So why we chose that, it's an inside thing between us.
But we're going to let you in on it. Because we're supposed to.
It's kind of the whole point of doing a podcast where we talk about our life. I think would be to tell you. So why don't you explain that? What's the whole banana lore in our life?
Oh, man. Oh, man. So, from the jump, what was it? What happened? Okay, so, first of all, we have to go way back to the very beginning of time. We have to hold up, wait a minute, rewind.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Some name it.
Right. So, we met on Tinder, as most young people do these days.
Give it up for Tinder.
We have a Tinderella story, and it worked out. But anyway,
Tinderessica.
So this man's been dodging me for years. He won't admit it, but we matched on Tinder 3 times before we finally actually went on a date over the course of 3 years. Right? 3?
Yeah, it was 3 years. This journey started in 2019. Or
yeah, it was 2019.
19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah,
So I matched with you the first time, and we had plans to go on some date. I don't even remember what it was, but he bailed on me first. So fast forward to 2020. This is COVID times. He invited me over for coffee. And I was like, man, nah, I ain't going. Because I'm petty as shit.
Yeah.
So, and then, naturally we found ourselves back on Tinder yet again for a third time. And we matched, I think out of spite the third time. Just pure spite.
Right. But that time though, she added me on Snapchat. Or somehow we added each other on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty sick in the head.
Sick.
I think it was to add me so I would see her beautiful life going by, and I'm like, to see what I'm missing out on. Probably. That's how it felt. And then unfriended me or deleted me on there.
Yeah, because Tinder times. And I ended up in another relationship that went down the toilet. So again, I found myself on Tinder. And that's when we matched again! And again! It just kept matching over and over and over again. But anyway, to me it feels that dramatic. But when I saw his petty little face pop up this last time, I knew I could feel it in my nuggets that was just I want her to know. I want her to see me. And anyway, it wasn't just any kind of swipe. We didn't just match. He super liked me. So he wanted me to see his petty face and let me know that he existed. True. And naturally, I almost swiped left just because I was like, I didn't want to play any more games. I didn't want to do this again. But then something in me, I read this message that he's, what was it? He sent along with the super swipe. I want to go on one last date with you before I croak with a frog emoji. Or one date with you before I croak.
Yeah.
And I'll bring you to any Denny's of your choosing. That's what you opened with. And also, your daughter was supposed to go on the date with us.
Right. So,
but there's a story behind that as well.
So to go into the story of that, which I think is a really good story. Tinderella. Everybody loves Cinderella. They love a good underdog story. And I was the underdog. And old mama dog was ducking me left and right. So I honestly was so excited. Well, not to get on Tinder again. I didn't want to, and my buddy, shout out Mendez. My buddy Mendez, we are best friends from the Marine Corps, and we'll randomly talk after long gaps of not talking. But when we do, it's like we always find out what each other's been up to, and then we end up giving them either some kind of motivational, heartfelt talk by the end of it. And I remember he said, "How's your love life going?" And I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm not messing with that at all. It's not worth it." And he said, "You should just go on some dates, man. Go on some dates, enjoy some dates. You don't have to fall in love with somebody. You don't even have to go home with them ever. Just go on some dates and feel that human experience of dating." And he really motivated me. There was a lot more said there, but I ended up getting on there, and it was a bunch of dud after dud. The dating pool was just so whack. It was super whack. It was so terrible. And then I see this freaking chick here pop up after we do this rigmarole thing back and forth for 3 years. And I went, oh man.
No! No!
Give me now.
Give me now!
And I didn't like. I'd been swiping, laying on my living room floor, and my son and my daughter right there. My son's playing Fortnite, and my daughter, Tinley, Eli, my son, Tinley, my daughter, she's doing something on her phone, watching YouTube, and anyway, I see Jess pop up her profile, and I was like, you know what? I've always had a feeling about this chick. I've always wanted her. I want her. I've got to make this happen. And I went to go swipe right, and it said, "You're out of swipes. To get more swipes, pay $3 for 3 super swipes." I was like, you know what? I got some funds in the bank. I got
You got a little change in your pocket. Going jing-a-ling-a-ling.
At least enough jing-a-langing for $3 for this super swipe. All I needed was 1 super swipe.
Just one.
So I paid the $3. It put me back to the page where her thing was on, and I swiped right, and it, boom, super swipe, sent out into the Tinderverse. Right. And that's how stars are born. No, but
basically.
It really does. A little blue star pops up whenever you do a super swipe.
Right, and I went, That's what happened. That's our star, a little poop star.
Oh, little baby Jesus in a manger under our star.
Silent night. Okay, but anyway,
super swipe.
Yeah.
She saw it. So what did you think when you saw the super
when
swipe?
I saw it, this was my face. This guy. This fucking guy. I really did. His name was Tinder Guy to me. Tinder Guy. Because every single time I ever got on Tinder, he was always there. You've always been there. You've always been there in spirit in some sort of way. But I saw the super swipe, and I really was like, this guy with the dress. In one of his photos, he was wearing a bridesmaid's dress. So, anyway.
It was for a joke in my buddy Trevor's wedding, not because I like to wear dresses.
Right. Okay. But anyway, that's not true. I actually have a picture of him in my dress.
Tell him that.
Okay, but anyway. So yeah, I seen him, and I was very skeptical at first because at this point in my life, I had just got out of a poopy relationship that I should have never been in. So I had hopped back on the Tinder sphere to take another stab at it. And at this point, I really just was looking. I wanted something serious, and I didn't really want games or anything. So I wasn't really sure if I should go left or right with this one, because I wasn't sure about him. Because every time we ever tried to plan something, one of us flaked. You too. It was you.
It was both of us. Let's just, you know what? That's what marriage is. Marriage is togetherness. So
we
together,
suck.
Let's agree that we both suck.
We both suck. But
except we don't suck now.
So anyway, long story short is, like I said before, he gave me a choice of going to any Denny's of my choosing. So we went to the 41 Denny's, where we met for the very first time. We didn't flake out, and there was a lot of emotion going on for me at least. I got ready for this date. after I got off work, like, I had like an hour to really just run home, throw some different clothes on, get freshened up, and I did. I tried to look on fleek for you. I did. I tried to look
You
on
looked
point.
amazing.
Like, I really tried. There was effort there. So, on the way there, the whole time, I feel like a little bit of nervousness because I'm like, either like nervous because I'm like, he's probably gonna bail out, and I'm about to go to Denny's alone, and or B, he's gonna actually show up, and then I'm gonna be nervous because I have to make conversation with this guy that we have played these games for years. Well, anyway, we get to Denny's, and I get out of my truck, and I'm walking up to the front door, and there he is. He looked better than the pictures. He looked fine. He looked like a fine apple. He looked nice, and he had just. Did you just get off work?
Yeah, I got off work at 5, and I think we agreed to meet at. Was
at
it 6?
6? We agreed to meet at 6 because.
And I said 6, which that was kind of a lot to get ready that quick for me.
Yeah, me too.
But like the reason I said 6 is because I really have wanted to go on a date with her forever with you, and it was like this is my chance, and I want to get as much time as possible. So if I say 4, if I say 6, then you know I get as much time as I possibly can. I'm not gonna spend time. I'm gonna get ready after work, and then I'm gonna sit around and be super antsy and nervous, and like even if it was till 6:30,
that extra 30 minutes, you probably would have bailed.
She would have bailed.
Nah.
I was not going to bail on this day. I can promise you, dude.
I was not, because, listen, I was ready. I was like, listen, it's been this long. We came up with a solid plan, a place to meet. If he bails, then this is just the end of the story. That's it.
Yeah.
It would have been done, so.
I would have known that. If I would have messed it up, I wouldn't have went for it again. This was definitely a Hail Mary last, make or break for sure.
Straight up going for it. One way or another, it was going to be determined where we fell on this timeline. But yeah, I get there, and he's actually there. He was actually there, like in the flesh. And I was so nervous walking up to him. And the only thing I knew to do was I just pulled out my finger guns as fast as I could. Just. And I shot him. And he died. And that's the end of this podcast.
There's a large. Yeah, that's
just
it. There's a larger metaphor there because her doing those finger guns at me, that was like death to my. Like, you murdered my single, old, miserable self.
Oh, I laid him out.
Like, that was it. Because from that moment on, we've been inseparable.
We really have. And from the jump, I've been obsessed with aliens, right? This was in my Tinder profile. Obsessed with just goofy-ass things. So, he said that he had a couple of alien stories. So, as soon as we sat down, I was just like, all right, hit me with it. Hit me with the stories about the aliens. So we went into conversation, and we did not stop for 6 hours.
That's right. We spent 6 hours in a Denny's. That sounds wild to say. I feel like people, I don't know that anybody's ever going to listen to this, but maybe potential matches of Tinder in this area. Well, if they heard that quote, they'd probably be like, yeah, those two are good for each other. I don't think I would have.
No, they would have bailed immediately.
6 hours in a Denny's. Glad
But let me tell you something. By hour 3, I was already like, I was done with all the other apps. I was done with the apps. I canceled dates. I was I was done. Like, this is at hour 3 when I went to the bathroom. I was canceling shit because I was not trying to talk to anybody else. I didn't want to. And I was like, this has got to go somewhere. And that was at 3 hours of talking to you.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Like, I mean, it's I think weird to explain, but I instantly felt like a loyalty
I
to
did too.
to you. Like, I felt disgusted, like, having anything else set up. Like I instantly, like, we weren't even anything yet. We were still on our first date, and I thought, oh man, like, I don't want to, like, cheat on her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I felt that.
In such a new, like, innocent way.
Yeah.
And then hour 4 of our date, it was like 4.5 hours in. Our server, B-Rad, Brad,
But we called him B-Rad because he's cooler than that. He's above Brad. No offense to the Brads out there, but
yeah,
B-Rad's
coolest Brad I've ever met, for sure. And he came up and he goes, "Hey, so I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to rush you guys out, but would you like the check, or are you guys gonna order more stuff?" I said, "Oh, are you guys, like, about to close or something?" He said, "Well, no, it's just you guys have been here for 4 hours." I was like,
What?
4 hours? Uh, and I felt two things. I felt like, oh man, like, this is a long time. Like, I hope that she's not just sitting here because she's nice. I hope she's sitting here because she genuinely wants to still be here. But we both lost track of time. She would have, no, things have been going great. And then two, I don't want this to end yet.
Yeah, so also at that point, Brad, B-Rad, was actually said, he asked us, he said, how do you guys know each other? Is this like a first date or what is this? And Austin looks at me across the table, just direct eye contact, and just like, we actually met on Ancestry.com, and this here is my sister. And Brad's face was just like backtrack, read that wrong. I better get out of here. So he starts kind of backtracking, and then Austin's like, "No, I'm just kidding. Like, we're actually on a first date." And that's when this starts to get a little bit magical because Brad's just like, gotta work my magic. Turns out I'm actually a matchmaker. And we're like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so he basically put us both on the spot and asked us a couple questions, but the main question that really stuck with me, that made it feel like my heart was gonna fall out of my butt cheeks, was was he asked you, would you go on a second date with me, right in front of me? And I was like, I was hoping that you would say yes, but not because he put you on the spot and you were just being nice. I was hoping you'd say yes just because I wanted to, like, selfishly. I wanted to take you on a second date whether you wanted to or not. Probably would have, like, abducted you, put you in the back of the truck.
Back to the alien thing.
Okay, but anyway. So then he put me on the spot and asked me if I'd go on a second date with Austin. And I was just like, well, yeah. Like, sure. Yeah, of course. Obvi.
Yeah. You want to know how mine sounded when he asked me? Is it? Of course.
This was my. Yeah.
actually really was like that, I think.
It was, yeah.
And it was definitely like, did not feel like I was put on the spot. I really said how I felt, and I was like, absolutely, yes.
I was so nervous. I was like, if this man doesn't say yes, I'm about to walk out of here. I'm about to be like, I ain't wasting no more time. Check, please. Divide it.
Do you know how messed up that would have been, though?
Been
After sitting there for 4 hours?
Like, oh, no, like, this was fun, but we're gonna call it a night. That would be so fucked.
That's true.
But anyway. So, yeah.
So we stayed for an additional 2 hours. We stayed there for 6 hours, and we probably would have been there longer, or like, I don't know. I had to be at work at 5 in the morning. So we got to this date at 6.
We left at midnight.
And I think they closed at 1.
They closed at 1.
Yeah, so that's why we left.
COVID times.
To give we don't want to stay there till like right at 1 and make the cleanup like hard for them. So
we did bop. We got out of there. We had to go.
And it was so that was like kind of like we had a very great 6 hours, but I didn't want it to be over.
Oh, I didn't either. I was like low key hoping you'd be like, hey, like, let's continue this date, but I knew you had work early AF.
Yeah, and a huge part of me like wanted to do that, but I really
dead at work.
Like from the get go, I never wanted to be like inappropriate or like come off as that, like I'm just some freaking horny goat.
Ew.
You know?
A horny goat. That's disgusting bug.
Or a little rabbit, whatever kind of animal, bangs a lot. I don't want to be that. I wanted to spend more time, but the times that we live in, like, I just felt like it would have been perceived as that, and I didn't want to do that, even though she wanted me to. You said
not like in a sexual nature, but like I wanted the date to continue. Like I honestly, what I wanted was to keep talking to you. Like that's how good the conversation with you was from the jump. It was nonstop, just bouncing off each other with like puns and goofy little sayings and funny stories about our lives and banter and stuff about kids that we could relate to. It was nuts.
Yeah. Well, I guess that answers the original question at the beginning of this, is why are we doing this? Because we realized that from our first date, that we're really good at talking with each other, and if nobody ever listens to this, which I'm pretty doubtful that this will really get to anybody, but it's just for us to catalog how we
like vlog our journey.
Yeah. Thus far. Maybe one day they say the internet's gonna be here forever, and everything on the internet is like always gonna be there, and you can never get it back. So I don't know. Maybe one day we'll be just dust and bones in the ground, and some.
But our YouTube channel will live on.
Yeah, that's our legacy.
This Rise, I find you appealing.
So yeah, but to wrap up the first date, we had our first kiss,
which was very nice.
Very nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah,
I was a big fan.
And like to stay on the topic, I guess, of the like not being overly sexual. That was like, even that, like, it was just such a sweet, perfect kiss. It wasn't some big sloppy, nasty. Like it was so just sweet. Like
It felt like something straight out of like a Nicholas Sparks, like didn't it
it
though? Like
did.
it felt
Yeah.
like some sort of like movie or book, and just I've never had a kiss where I felt legit sparks. I felt like my stomach, like there were butterflies that were just caged in there. They were trying to get out. They were everywhere. If I would have farted, you would have probably seen a little butterfly just.
Dude, I don't know. I think I had like pterodactyls in mine or something. I had big crazy winged things.
I never felt like that though. Like with anybody.
No, yeah, same.
It was really nice and really different. And from that, like at hour 3, I knew that I didn't want to talk to anybody else. But by the end of that date, like I was like, I'm sold. Like I don't even know where this is gonna go, but I hope it goes somewhere. Like, oh, on our first date, we also planned our second date for the next day.
Literally the next day. Technically the same day.
It was the same day by the time we left.
But yeah.
So.
And that was to watch
Your favorite movie? Well, we actually watched a couple movies. I kept singing the "We don't talk about no, no."
Right.
So we had to watch Encanto, and then we watched his favorite rom com, which is what's it called?
It's called Palm Springs, and it has Andy Samberg, and I really cannot remember the girl's name. That's the lead.
Well, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
It was a really nice movie to watch for a second date. So, but anyway, so from that point, what was it? So we covered how we met. Now we gotta cover the saying the big words.
So, yeah. So,
Who said it first?
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. You love me?
Shit, dog. I love you too.
Swoon.
Oh, did you call the cat?
No, I mean I woke her up. Her little eyes went.
Said,
But so there's an infamous moment in our relationship, and that is the drive-by hug. And I was on my days off. I was at my apartment.
We weren't dating yet, were we?
No, I guess not.
I think this was like right before we started dating because we started dating within, was it 7 days of our first date?
Yeah, like boyfriend, girlfriend,
Because we
label
went on our
stuff.
When did we go on our first date? Was it
the 21st? No, the 20th.
It was the 21st. It was the 21st. So a little over 7 days.
Right.
No.
6 days.
6 days. Yeah, sorry.
So the 21st was our first day, and then the 27th, I officially. Well, I can't say I officially asked you to be my girlfriend because it was
we watched a movie, and I'm giving him a hug before he's about to dip out, and he said, "I only fucks with you," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" So all night I'm sitting there pondering, like, what does this mean? Are we like? Are we? What's the word? Monogamous? Are we one? Are we a relationship? What are we? So I couldn't stand it anymore. Like by midday the following day after he said that, I said, "What are we? What is this?" And I guess he wanted to like ask me in some official way, but that's not how this works because I'm very impatient and I need answers.
Well, the reasoning behind being like that is because I was so like I was so nervous about like I wanted to show that I was like a man who knew what I wanted, which I wanted you, but also like I really wanted because of things in my past, I really wanted like almost like it to be your idea. Like I really and not out of like any other way than like I wanted to make sure that she was on the same page. Like because I know that like if a woman wants something, like she'll go and get it. Like a man, like we can say that like we can say that we're gonna do that, but I mean, dudes get shut down left and right all the time. Like I've been shut down by her before, but so I was feeling it, but I really wanted the confirmation from her, and so I just said, in my nervousness, I said, just I only I only fucks with you. Just want you to know that. Like we're having like a real like close like kissing session before a goodbye. We were about to part ways. She had to go do something. I had to go do something, and I'm just like, I only fucks with you. So,
Right,
you know.
real deep romantic shit.
A very unromantic quote, but I made it. I made it romantic.
It made my brain go like 84 different directions. I was like, I felt like Dorothy and Scarecrow, like trying to figure out which way to go on the yellow brick road when they're at a fucking cross point. I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm over here. What?
Well, it was our timeline has been fast. It was a fast moving timeline, so my feelings were there, but I kind of needed to 100% make sure that hers were there.
Oh, they were there.
Well, I know that now.
And it was bad.
Big bad.
I was bad, big bad wolf. I was gonna huff and puff and blow you down.
Yeah. And my house was definitely made of sticks.
Yeah.
Because she blew it. She blew it down.
Capacity. We're done. Okay.
So the next day, it was addressed the next day, and
yeah, I was like, so about that.
Yeah, it was.
Are you gonna elaborate? Are we gonna just leave it at that? What does this mean?
See, it worked. It worked, guys. Just think about that. Okay, guys, if you're worried, you got your heart on your sleeve, and you're worried about just saying, "Hey, want to go steady? Want to be my GF? Trying to be my boo thing?" And you're worried about the rejection. Just say something kind of vague because it got her brain turning. I mean, things were in there twisting. She thought about that for 24 hours.
It drove me absolutely bonkers.
18 hours.
I was like, what kind of sick, twisted shit is this guy on? I only fucks with you. What is that? The fuck? I was so pissed off. And I was like, what is that? Because at that point, like, I was like, man, I really feel like he's really feeling me, but why would he say that instead of just asking me to be his boo thing, his chicken wing? I had so many questions. But anyway, yeah, so we ended up together.
No, that's when we got married. Sorry.
January 27th.
January 27th.
Of 2022.
We became official dating.
Yeah.
BF.
GF. Yo.
YOLO.
Yeah, so we did that, and it was, I'm going to say it was weeks before we knew how we really felt about each other.
Right.
It was weeks because maybe what, 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It was really short, but I fell for you really fast and I fell for you really hard.
Yeah. Same. I think I was feeling like I was in love with you for sure. I felt that like it for sure like a week before I actually said it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, and I had this build up over the course of a week, and it was like I gotta gauge. I was on that. I gotta gauge it. Shit. Like I really needed to gauge and make sure that like if I go to do this and I say I love you, that it's gonna be reciprocated. I was a nervous little wreck. I
Well,
still feel nervous
what was
sometimes.
your green light? What was your on your mark, get set, go?
I think the green light for me was so there's a video that that you made TikTok. You recorded this video. We met up and got lunch. Well, like a picnic style lunch. It was raining that day, and we met up at Wesselman Woods in town, and I brought spaghetti sandwiches,
Skitty.
which was just such a oddball thing, and that I think like I think she liked that you liked that because
I did.
it showed
It
that
was
I'm a
nice.
weirdo,
You're a freak.
and I felt like man, I felt so good sitting in the truck with you and eating and like being around you and having you like reach over and hold my hand and we kissed a couple times here and there, nothing crazy, like nothing, no obscene crazy makeout session, but I just felt really good. And then she hit me with she got out and set her phone up and had this rainbow umbrella and had me get out of the truck and like I didn't realize that there was a video that a camera was set up and she got me just being natural with her in the rain. And when I realized what was going on, that it was a video, I had this real emotional moment. And I really like let it loose to myself in the car after we parted ways. And it was like, dude, nobody's ever wanted to put me in a video and make it public. And that's for real. Like every relationship I've ever been in, I don't know if like I was an embarrassment to them
Yeah.
or what, but like I've never been allowed to be like in the public eye, and that always like really made me feel terrible about
It's a
myself.
bad feeling.
Yeah, like literally every relationship, and then she secretly records me because she wants to, and makes like a really cute TikTok out of it, and even put it on I think your Instagram too. I mean,
Did.
posted it up on the socials for everyone to see it, and that was like, oh my gosh, like she's in this. I'm in love with her. Like like I hope that she's doing all this to love me too because I'm in love with her. And then it was like a week that I kept this in like, oh my god. I just want
Kept
to
it in like diarrhea, clenching your cheeks.
I know, and I had no depends like adult diapers because when this was
Nothing.
gonna come out, it was
It
gonna
was.
have to come out. And and then it did. We went on a date. We went and ate at my favorite Mexican restaurant. It's pretty authentic. It's called La Camperana.
Yum, yum.
It's so good. It's in Evansville, Indiana, on Burkhart, North Burkhart, La Camparana, and they have tortas, which is my favorite Mexican dish. Is a torta.
Torta. All sorta tortas.
Do you remember what you ate on that date?
I think it was a quesadilla.
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 So, and I wanted to do it after we got done eating, like looking across the table. And then I was so nervous, and I thought, you know what? I feel like this is a moment. I don't want a table in between us. I want to do this where, like, if it's reciprocated the way that I want it to be, then we'll like kiss afterwards to commemorate it. Sounds so cheesy, but like I wanted that, and that's what I did. So I did it in the parking lot.
Consummate that I love you.
Like she thought she was just gonna roll off back to work, and that was gonna be it. But no, I hit her with it. I hit her with.
You got in my driver's side door. You remember? Like I was sitting in my driver's seat. And you had the door open.
Right. Yeah.
And you said, I gotta tell you something, dog.
Yeah.
You just laid it out there.
Said I love you. Like I really honestly do. I mean, how did you feel?
The same way. I felt like a relief, honestly. I was like, finally, this guy said it. Jesus.
I think I honestly remember you saying that. Like after we like had our
because I had felt it for a lot longer than you had. Because I felt it pretty immediately. So this is gonna sound probably crazy, but this is how I felt was on our second date. Right before we left, we had had a conversation on our first date about things that make a good noise when you throw them out a window.
Yeah.
And anyway, like I totally put that on the back burner of my brain. So there's like elevator music playing, you know.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about it. And our next date, the second one, right before I'm about to leave, you go into the kitchen and you're just slapping like, what was it? Was it peanut butter and marmalade?
Yeah.
On a sandwich or on some bread? And you just like looked at me. You didn't say anything, and you pulled your arm back and slung this at the window. You said that made a good noise, didn't it? And then you proceeded to eat the sandwich. So that was the moment I knew that you were different and that I was like gonna fall for you. Like I was falling for you already. But like that's when I knew I was like, oh fuck. Like I'm psycho. I am like this is going places.
But not really psycho. Or maybe psycho, but
I think
we're both psycho because I was on the same page. Not because she threw any kind of
no marmalades at the window.
No food object at the window, but I man, like just being there with her on that second date and lying there watching movies, like once again it was super just really sweet intimate moment that wasn't sexualized or anything more than what it was, just a sweet kind of innocent loving moment of like just laying there and you're rubbing my arm, and I remember I felt like electricity.
It gave you barelies.
Yeah, I felt like
the little tickles on your arm, barelies.
Yeah,
they're barely touching you.
Barelies, and that was so electrifying and just crazy feeling to me, and it made me feel like a ton of stuff that honestly, like one of my thought was like, dude, if this is how I'm feeling off of her just doing that, Like, imagine what a lifetime of like experiencing everything possible with her is gonna feel like. And that was when I realized, like, dude, I am going to fall so crazy hard in love with this woman. And we're on date 2, literally the next day after our first date, and just I did too. I felt like, man, am I nuts? Like, am I crazy? But no, it was very genuine, and I think that where we're at now, I think proves how genuine it was. So it's a big moment. Um, I think for us that we should talk about is definitely our prom night, adult prom.
So, the backstory behind this is that we both had really shitty prom experiences. And for Valentine's Day, we had the idea to change that, give ourselves one good prom experience. And we actually didn't get to do our prom on Valentine's Day because I got COVID. So
Oh
I was
yeah,
feeling like absolute ass. So we waited and did, what was it, like a week later? It was a week later, but that's when we celebrated Valentine's
right. And
Day.
I think it was technically when we did celebrate it. Was it on our 1 month
It,
anniversary or no?
it was, it was, yeah, well, it was close to it. It was a week after Valentine's Day.
So it was close. It was close to that.
But we, um, we had this very special Valentine's Day prom, and there was like, this wasn't just some, oh, like just wear like a dress and like something nice and whatever. Like a lot of effort went into making this special. Like I I, I ordered a backdrop so we could take cheesy prom pictures, and I ordered balloons and um, what was the other thing? Oh, I even had like a little disco lamp set up, so I was making the whole room look like we're at a school dance, and had little streamers. Now, when he got there, he showed up with the corsage, which made it even more special because I didn't expect him to go all out for it. Like I wanted to surprise him by going all out myself, but I didn't think that he was going to go all out for it. But he actually went and got like a really really nice suit. He had his corsage.
Really
He
nice.
looked really sharp.
I threw down on that suit because I knew that she was getting a dress that was really super nice, and like I wanted to bring it to. Are you?
I want to see if I can find
You want
the
me to
picture.
show
No, keep going. Keep talking about it.
Yeah. So I really wanted to show her how serious I was because I could tell that she was serious, and because like I mean she's talking about buying a dress and like she was dropping hints that she had surprises for me and all this and that. So I ended up spending. I spent $350 on my suit.
That's
Yep.
one of our prom pictures.
And that was great. When I saw how much effort, I felt really glad that I put in effort because I remember she blindfolded me at the door and then made me come in and be totally surprised. Or
No,
I didn't get blindfolded at the door, but
I blindfolded you, and because we were gonna eat first, I blindfolded you, and I wanted where we were gonna get food from to be a surprise. So I had him in the car. He's not able to see anything, and I drove him to Five Guys. I know what you're thinking, Five Guys, why? Well, it's because this man loves burgers, and is just always telling me how much he loves burgers and how he fucks with Five Guys. So that's where I went and got our food from.
Keep talking about. I gotta get a charger for this.
So we threw down on some burgers in our prom attire, and yeah, we really did. Do you remember that?
Throwing down on the burgers.
Throwing down on the burgers in the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
we did. It was nice. It was nice.
That was one of the best. That was one of the best Five Guys experiences that I've ever had.
I guarantee it was. It was supposed to be. But so we threw down on these burgers, and then I made a playlist for our prom. So we'd have music to listen to, and we slow danced, and it was just really super duper sweet. Slow danced in my living room with these lights from the disco ball going off, and then we even had a glow part of the prom where I changed the lights to I think blue, and I got out a bunch of glow sticks, and they were like necklaces, and we turned them into bracelets, and we basically had a little bit of a rave in my living room.
Right.
So.
And she continued a trend for me that I've never been in a relationship where I really had effort put into something for me. And it was nuts to feel the energy matched.
Yeah, because he showed up with not only the corsage, but he also had Valentine's Day gifts for me. And he had brought me a oil lamp. And I love oil lamps. I collect them. And he not just got me an oil lamp, he got one and painted bananas.
Should I show
you
it?
can show them. Painted bananas on it because of the whole "I find you appealing" thing. It is my favorite lamp in the world. You can see the bananas. Banana. That says J&A at the top. I remember him working on this, and because we were always on video chat, and he wouldn't show me what he was working on. But that's not the only glass that came with it. He also painted the Bruno thing from the We Don't Talk About Bruno, because that was the song I kept singing on the other glass. And he did some other stuff too. Oh, he got me a trophy. That said "World's Best First Date." And he had stolen a spoon from Denny's. We're sorry, Denny's. But the spoon was important to our first date. And he stole the spoon from Denny's and put it on this trophy and said "World's Best First Date" on it. And I was so surprised. I had no idea that he got the spoon. But as soon as I seen it, I knew exactly what it was. I was like, my spoon is too big!
Yeah, they gave me this really weird, oddly long
They gave
spoon.
a milkshake spoon for what was it for? It was,
just that was what was in the silverware roll instead of a normal tablespoon.
Yeah, it was redonkulous.
And she said that
my spoon is too big. My spoon is too big.
And from then I realized, I swear, Ozzy,
get out of here,
dude. It's our cat, one of them. Man, she derailed me for a second. But the spoon, I realized that, I don't know, it was just a natural response to us. I was like, you know what? I really like feel the desire to remember things and look at the deeper meaning and little inside jokes and stuff between us and like make those a thing. And when she like the spoon thing kept getting brought up, it was funny. It was like one of the first things that we really like laughed about on the date, and it got brought up like two more times. And so by the end of the date, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this spoon. And I slipped it in my pocket and I took it and I was like, you know, I'm gonna find a use for this spoon. I don't know what. So when our prom night came up and Valentine's Day, part of the Valentine's Day gift was I took that and I super glued it to the trophy. I was like, that's perfect. So I got this basic ass trophy and super glued a spoon to it. And did the banana lamp because I find you appealing, but also I got you a banana suit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I also have a banana suit now.
So we both have banana
A
suits,
couple of bananas.
and I think that we should film one of these like wearing them
You probably will.
because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
But prom was an essential thing in me falling in love with you. And I told you I love you, I think like not long after that, right?
It was before that.
I told you before that?
You told me before that.
Well, okay, so yeah, I told you before that, but the prom was essential to me realizing, like really furthering this love to the point where I realized inside, like, dude, I'm gonna marry this woman. And that happened a lot sooner than you think.
Literally 3 months later, we ran off and eloped on the beach in Florida.
Yeah, we
Fernandina, Florida. But it wasn't just like a typical, courthouse wedding. Like, we actually went and we had the white dress and he got a suit and it was just me, him, and what are those people called? The minister?
Justice of
No, it wasn't even that. So, an ordained minister.
An ordained minister and her husband.
And her husband, and then the photographer, which is his friend from the Marines. So we had a very private, very intimate ceremony on the beach, just because we both have some pretty, I guess, weird family situations going on. So we just thought, we're not trying to deal with anything awkward or try and make other people comfortable or uncomfortable. This is supposed to be about us, and we're going to make this day about us. We're not gonna cater to what anybody else wants. And there were, at least on my side that I know about, was there were some hard feelings from family about not getting to be a part of it, but I wouldn't have done it any other way.
No.
Because it was a perfect day. It was a perfect day, and have the perfect time with my perfect husband.
Literally, the company couldn't have been any better.
Oh, it was top notch.
Because I had family that, which is kind of like my family knew that I had went off and got married because it got to them, and we weren't hiding it. Our marriage was definitely not a secret.
But it
wasn't.
We weren't like throwing it in people's faces either. We weren't like, hey, we're going to get married. We just did it.
Yeah, and
solely because we wanted to.
Exactly, because we wanted to, and that
because it felt right.
Because I think, and we agree with that, marriage. Like, I don't know how marriage got turned into this thing where it should be for anything other than just for us. Like marriage is to me an intimate thing because like why do we need to have this huge ceremony with 100 people uh, come to it and watch it happen, and then as soon as we part ways, the rest of our time. Sorry, I had to throw a pillow at the cat. This cat keeps sauntering in here and like pissing me off, like she does all the time. The other cat is not doing anything bad. You're a good catty, Moo.
No, she's not. She's a POS.
We're not getting on a cat tangent.
I'm sorry.
But
we're not having a little cat fight.
We're gonna cat fight.
You better put them claws away.
No, we probably will cat fight after this. But yeah, like I think that marriage has turned into this crazy thing.
It's a show. You're showboating for people that you're never gonna see probably ever again after you get married. Maybe once or twice for the rest of your lifetime you'll run into these people.
Right, but like when you part ways though, like you're going into your marriage to live your marriage. Like all these people are not coming with you.
Right. And I understand if we have nothing against anybody like wanting to go throw a big wedding. Like if that's your scene, do it. Especially like if it's your first time, like have all the attention on you. But we come from situations where we've been on this road. We've already been married and we're just like, let's just do this for ourselves and nobody else. And it was really perfect.
It was.
I couldn't imagine it any other way.
I couldn't either because as like our families are weird, and I'm not gonna like go into details and like shit on our family.
No.
But the thing is, like,
there's just a lot of drama.
Anybody that tried to, after the fact of our marriage, tried to make it sound like they were upset that they didn't get to be there. They didn't really want to be there. It's just they really. I don't think that they really did. I don't think that the marriage would have been approved of. And because
if we would have told anybody, we would have got a bunch of unwanted opinions.
Yeah.
Unwanted, unsolicited advice about what we're about to get ourselves into. But that's the thing, is we've both already done this and we've both already learned the lessons. Like, we wouldn't be getting married again if it wasn't for the right reasons.
Yeah. Marriage to me is a big deal. Like, it really, getting married is, to me, I think it's one of the most intimate things that you can do because you're literally giving everything of yourself to another person. If you do it right, if you truly get married and you do it and live it out as what it should be, like
you're becoming one.
Right.
A family unit. We are the Lewises. Team Lou. Lou Crew.
Man, I love you.
I love you too.
So we, but like anybody, we did do this fast marriage, and I'm sure that people would think like, well, I bet you did it out of excitement, and it probably died off, like the newness wore off, and you maybe look back and thought, dang, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but there was no regrets.
I have no regrets, and
ever. I've only been moving forward with you.
I mean, I think everybody goes through a point where you settle into a relationship. We're settling into our lives because we merged two families together. But the excitement is still there every day. I've never been in a relationship where I can look at someone and just crack a smile and just laugh because it's just I know that this person's so full of joy and good things and funny jokes, and you're just a really wonderful person to be around.
Well,
And that's what I want for the rest of my life. That's a huge reason I wanted to marry you, because I wanted to laugh every day.
well, I'm glad that you think so and that you feel that.
I know so. Feel it in my nuggets.
My nuggets are swollen because I feel it too. It's crazy how much I feel it. Like our relationship. Like I don't like to say our relationship isn't perfect because to me our relationship is perfect, but it
We have ups
has
and downs,
right.
like every relationship does. You're gonna have ups and downs.
And
Nobody's perfect, but damn, we are pretty freaking close.
ugh, these cats sometimes, man.
We have so many.
She's instigating it, but um, like shoot, what was I gonna? So ups and downs, like yes, early on in our relationship, a big like I don't remember when, but a really good quote came up. And I remember I said it and I felt it, and I brought it up in one of our like really like heartfelt, deep moments we were having, and it was I'm gonna paraphrase it, and I don't know who the quote came from. I can't remember, but it was it was like life is full of easies and hards or something like that. um, or easy like your easy stuff and your difficult stuff or your hard stuff. Choose your hard. It said, and whoever was doing the quote, it was like, work is not easy, it's hard. So find a job that is your hard, that like a hard that you can handle. Marriage is not easy. Really, any relationship is not easy. It is something that if you really want it, you have to work for, and it's hard sometimes. So choose your hard. And I said, this is like you're my hard. Like, and that has always like I've always stood by that that no, our relationship has had some times that have been hard and definitely not easy.
Yeah.
And to other people, like if they knew about those or ever heard what those scenarios were, they might go, "Oh my gosh,
Damn.
that's nuts."
Well,
But to me, I I mean, you can confirm if it's true or not, but I feel like I have taken everything like in stride. I feel like it's
yeah.
been
I mean, we've overcome and got through a lot in our first 6 months of marriage. And yesterday we were together for 10 months now. 10 months and a day.
10 months in one day. The
Today.
most beautiful 10 months in one day I've ever lived through.
I know, me too.
And I've lived through quite a few 10 months in one days.
This is my favorite 10 months in one day. But what something that goes hand in hand with what you were saying about the choose your heart was the reason I put that quote in our marriage or in our vows was it from my aunt Stacy. She told me this a long time ago whenever I was going through some hard times in my first marriage. She said you know you need to choose your person every day if it's going to work. And back then I didn't choose anybody. But when I met Austin, he was the kind of person worth choosing every day, every second of every day, even when things get hard, because the beesiest of the neediest.
Dude, I get so emotional every time Jess like tells me something deep. like that she feels about us. Like that right there, that borderline me like almost turning on the waterworks. Like for real. Like it really it never gets old hearing the person that you love confirm to you that they feel the same way and that in the ways that they feel like that love about you. And like I never take it for granted. Like there's no "I love you" or no long, lengthy explanation like that of that ever just goes in one ear and out the other. And that's like love really like conquers all. I think every situation that we've got into that was like tough and like things were coming to a head. It was like, hold up, let's take a minute. Like I love this woman and I want to keep loving her forever because I see myself at the end of time with her, at the end of my time, that I'm alive. And I hope after that, like, I don't know where we go, but there's always, I had this dream about us being old sitting in rocking chairs on like our home, like our home.
Our
And
forever home.
yeah, and we're old and gray and fat and
sassy.
sassy and fat and happy. And I get down in my chair. I'm old. I'm just like, and then she comes and sits down next to me, and like in our twin chairs, she grabs my hand, and we're rocking and like looking out on this field that's behind our off of our back like porch. And like that's always a thing that I think about, especially whenever we've had a hit a rough spot or we get into it with each other. I think to pull me out of it, I always go to that. I think no, I still see us in the rocking chairs, and I don't ever see that going away. I think that if I like that would be just the worst thing ever. I don't believe that it will happen, but if I ever saw like just empty rocking chairs in my head, then that would be a really sad day. But I'm probably gonna be dead if that's the case because no, I see us in those rocking chairs every single day. Right now, close my eyes. Jess is old as shit, sitting next to me in a rocking chair, and she's sassy and fat, and she loves me. Damn.
God damn!
Speaking of fat and happy, I really want to like come like just go on a brief tangent about how amazing like our food relationship is with each other.
Oh man, our food relationship's heavenly.
Like
we have the most chemistry in the kitchen. I mean, there's
seriously,
good chemistry everywhere else, but mainly in our kitchen. When we start turning on the gas stove, that's when you know we're about to really bond.
seriously, like, dude, that's why I don't go to church. Because
You don't need it. God's here.
I've never felt like the Holy Spirit in a freaking church, but I have felt it in that kitchen.
You start speaking tongues whenever I'm over there grilling some chicken.
Dude, she puts a hot piece of like beautifully marinated grilled chicken in my mouth. I'm like,
you're stupid.
Church.
Tweet. We churched that chicken up. Man, we are definitely not going to heaven.
No.
That's fine.
But
It's fine.
If
Everything's fine.
if heaven has a bunch of food, or like a really like a kitchen, and you need like hands in there making
If
food,
you need hands on, come. You know where to find us. We can be toasting it up down south.
hit us up. Get us that chef voucher that we
I
need.
just see a giant hand. You too. Kitchen now.
I'm gonna throw something at a cat. That made me mad. Well, just the one, but.
Meow. But yeah, we throw down on some food.
Like I've never met a woman, and yeah, I'm gonna say woman. I don't care what times we're living in. I have never met a woman. This is the modern day and age that we're living in. Old grannies, they all know how to cook, but somewhere the I guess Burger King and Mickey D's like just put like such a crutch in good cooks in the household. And like in this modern day of like dating and stuff, it's rare to find somebody who can actually cook. It doesn't need to sit there like on a phone or flipping through a book. And like I'm a self-taught cook. Like I kind of watched my dad cook growing up, but like I really am self-taught, and I love to cook. I would cook for all my friends. Like when I was in the Marine Corps, everybody wanted to come over and have me cook, and even when I got out, it was like, Lewis, come over and cook for us. Like we bought all the groceries, you just cook it. And so I didn't even think about like, oh, I hope she knows how to cook. I just thought I can't wait to cook for her. And then when she did it for me the first time, it was freaking nuts.
What did I make for you the first time?
Dude, you made.
Was it Italian beef?
It was Italian beef and your Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely nuts. Like I didn't know how to do that, how to make Italian beef. She just did it. And I came in from night shift to stay over to sleep, in at her place in her bed, and I came in at 5:30 in the morning, and it just like I got smacked in the face by the craziest scent. She had told me on FaceTime like, hey, I'm making Italian beef. I'm about to put it in the oven. I was like, oh man, what? About to cook it all night? And yeah, I came in. It was the most heavenly smell. And she came home for lunch, and she said she came and woke me up. It was at like noon. She came on her lunch and she said, let's bust into this. I was like, isn't this for dinner tonight? Dinner tonight for you and the boys? She said, no, they ain't gonna appreciate this. They might get a little bit later, but no, this is for us. And we went to work on it. I remember it was heavenly. And then every dish after that has been.
Let me ask you this. What is your favorite dish for you that I've ever made?
Man, oh, that's so tough. But like any type of grilled chicken dish is nuts. Like she knows the way around a grill so freaking well, and the chicken is phenomenal every time. Like it makes me want to pass out. It's so good. But I don't just want to be like general and just in general say chicken, grilled chicken. So I think the craziest. But well, does a dish that we collaborated on count?
Yeah.
Okay. The craziest thing was, so we took the Italian beef and we made it into like quesadillas.
Oh yeah, that was really good. And then we dipped the quesadillas in the Italian beef au jus.
Yeah, that was insane. We put a bunch of melty cheese on there, and like just the way that like after we took it off the skillet, and they were crispy, crunchy, had cheese, had that Italian beef in there, and like the like onion and garlic that was in the slow cooker, doing the Italian beef all day, like all that was in there, and then we scooped out the jus and just submerged our slices in there, and the boys were like they lost their mind over it. They're like, we need to start a family restaurant.
A family recipe book.
Yeah, family, like this needs to go on the menu for sure.
We do need to do that. We do just make a menu for the house of things that we make. Well, Emu, come on now, get out of here. Go.
Here, this is the other one. Well, that's Emu. Ozzy's over there, like literally death staring.
We need to wrap this up. I'm starting to get sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where so where do you see us in the future? We just hit six months of marriage. To us, that's a big deal. Some people probably are like, "Oh, you guys ain't even nothing yet."
No, not yet.
But
we will be.
Well, I think we're something.
We're going places.
We've been something since day one. So
let's get up something to talk about.
I'm sure a lot of people have talked about us. We've probably been a real topic of gossip.
Nancy's. Oh man.
But you know what?
My family's loving it.
Yeah, I don't know about mine. Everything's working out though in its own way, and you know what they say that if they're not talking about you, then you're not doing something right. So good. Let them talk. Let everybody talk. I don't care. I haven't cared about what anybody says about us since we did this. But like one thing is for certain that I have always like stuck by is you are getting tired is like no one's gonna like to my face like disrespect our marriage. No one's gonna try to like jack this up because this is the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. This is where I'm gonna be at the end of my life with this person. No matter what happens, there's so much stuff that can happen. Look at how much we've done in 10 months and one day. We have done a lot of stuff, and the whole future is ahead of us. And so as far as where I see us in the future, is just that I see us in the future together at the end.
I do too. I see the rocking chairs too.
So
I see us going on a lot of adventures together, whether it be business adventures or just vacation adventures or just life journeys as a whole. This is really just the beginning.
Right.
And we're here just to document where we go. So, thank you for tuning in. Or not.
Thanks to us because we
finally did it.
Should we close out by showing them the handshake that we created on our first date?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're leaving.
It's not like super elaborate. But
my lady's gotta go to bed. No, but it's cool. It's cool.
It's just the fact that we
be jealous that you don't have one, and maybe go out with your partner and create a handshake. So first date, this is what we did in Denny's.
Top. Oh shoot. Top left.
Drop it,
brother.
I love you.
I love you too.
Adios.